that gives us the pure bhajan. It's not our chanting, but it's Guru's mercy. So if he sees that we're undergoing all inconveniences for his satisfaction and praying and trying to become absorbed, then when he sees that we're sincere, then he gives mercy, like the two fingers. Our endeavor is required and the mercy is required. Yes?
In regards to waiting until we're pure to do bhajan, I heard the other day Gurudev's
Or pure to preach.
Gurudev's example about the clay pot. Do you remember that?
You tell it.
Oh man, it's so bad. You know it. About taking all the clay out, the sand out of the pot.
I don't remember that particular analogy, but I remember that class because you sent it. That's the one you just sent, right? Or somehow we just heard it.
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah, we just heard it a couple of days ago. It was the most amazing class. It wasn't a class, it was a darshan, right, with the GBCs? Yeah. And he was saying that your Srila Prabhupada, that one with the 4 regulative principles, or was that a different one? He gave the 4 regulative principles before giving initiation, but he knew that the devotees wouldn't be able to follow it. But then they would at least try harder. But the real regulative principles for initiation is to become free from criticism. If somebody is lusty or they smoke, that can easily be given up. But if somebody is critical and offensive to Vaishnavas, that becomes very difficult for him to advance in bhakti. So then he said, some people think that I have to give up all my bad habits before I can engage in bhajan and hear all these subject matters. He said they're so bogus. First, prema bhaktiya aharite avidya vinasa jati. First, as much as prem comes by the mercy of Guru and the mercy of his Harikatha, that much we can give up anarthas. Was that the one that you were speaking about? Okay, thank you for sharing that. Yes, Guru?
Good question. You said that Raghunath Das Goswami was praying for more service during the Nishanta Lila. The idea of more service also, brings the idea of less service. So
I don't remember saying more service.
When he can serve again.
Again, because that service was broken. As I mentioned last night, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is in 3 stages of consciousness. That is Antardasha, where he completely forgets his identity as Raghunath Das Goswami, and only has the concept of identity that I'm Rati Manjari. His body is just there, but he's not there. And at that time he's engaged in all these pastimes. But then it breaks. Like when Radharani stamped his head and he went to look in the mirror, there was nothing in the mirror. No stamp, no Radha, no Krishna, no pastime. And then he becomes in half internal, half external consciousness, where he's rolling on the ground at Radhakund. But he's still thinking of the pastimes, but not in it. And he's weeping in separation. Then he comes to external consciousness, which is called Bahir Dasha, when he can write and speak and relate to people. And he's praying that again, I will be able to enter that service, because otherwise I'll die in the next minute. Achyutananda Prabhu?
There's a lot of description of the gopis escaping their homes for the evening lila. Now in the morning, is there any endeavors that are described in how they slip back into home unnoticed in the morning? Just down.
I don't remember anything that Gurudev said about slipping into their own homes. I just remembered how they slipped Radharani into her home.
It's a very beautiful description of when Radha and Krishna are going down the path and separating. That might fit his question.
I don't know it. But they're both weeping, I know that.
The weeping, and then the breeze catches Radharani's scent, brings it to Krishna. Krishna, and Guru sketches Krishna scent brings it to Radha, and they're feeling some relief from the pain of separation.
Thank you. I can't answer them. I just know that they sneak Radharani in and then put her to bed. And then her mother-in-law and nurse and everybody comes to waken her. But they have too much to do in the morning. Just like a pujari. He has so much to do in the morning, getting the jewelry ready and the clothing ready. So they have to do that. They fix the jewelry that's been broken. They make new jewelry. They get the unguents ready. So I guess that answers your question. Okay. So then what's happening? Then, so the reason that they're talking about the particular things, when will I be able to do this, when will I be able to do that, is because even their prayers are a service. Because he wants to remind Radhika, even in his lamentation, of different pastimes. And when they're putting on these different unguents or jewelry or clothing, they're reminding Srimati Radhika, oh, do you remember when? Like, for example, when putting on her necklace, when will I be able to serve you by putting on your necklace, which decorates Krishna's pillow when he feels tired from the pastimes. So when they're putting on the necklace, they remind Radhika of different pastimes. For example, right after Surya Kund pastime, when Krishna is going back to play with his cowherd boys, and Radharani is going home with her mother-in-law and her other Sakis, she can't bear even the moments of separation. So she's thinking, I need an excuse to turn around and watch Krishna as he's leaving, so I get the last moment before he's totally out of sight. So she's wearing this pearl necklace and flips it so that it breaks. And then the pearls scatter everywhere. So Radharani gets on her hands and knees and starts picking up the pearls. And so her Sakis say, oh, those pearls are so tiny, you'll never be able to find them. And she said, oh yes, they're very big. I'll easily find them. They're my dear pearls. So as she's pretending to be interested in picking up the pearls, she keeps looking back. Or when she finally has the pearls, then one of the manjaris, knowing her desires, will be lagging behind so that Radhika can call, oh, so-and-so, hurry up, and look back to tell her to hurry up. So all the different services that they do are all related to some pastime that they remind her of. So therefore, it's when will I put on your bracelets, your ankle bells, and oh, Kalavati. They address her as Kalavati, which means the very artful girl. When will I be able to put the necklace on you to proclaim your great fortune of having Krishna become your necklace at the rasa dance, to show you that he'll never leave. He's always yours. So in the purport, Srila Gurudev explained that Krishna is Kalanidhi and Radharani is Kalavati. He is the treasury of all arts, but she is the player of all arts. And Gurudev gave the example that in Bombay, there's a very famous musical shop. And so the owner owns all the instruments, and maybe he can play a little bit, but he doesn't know how to play all the instruments expertly. So Krishna is the reservoir of everything. The treasury of all arts, but he can't play or sing as beautifully as Srimati Radhika. Even though he is the powerful, she is the power. And so she does everything much better than him. She is his power. So he can only have the power to be able to play any flute or to sing anything by her mercy, because she is his power. So she can do everything better than him. So she's Kalavati. Another verse is, when will I be allowed, after you're dressed, to braid your hair with very beautiful flower garlands that were brought ahead of time by the florist girl, the flower girl, Narmada, who's brought those flower garlands with great love. And so Srila Gurudev tells the story of when Krishna is always, he spends his days and moments figuring out ways how to get Srimati Radhika's favor, especially if she's in Man, how to break that Man, and how to please her, and how to get her association. So once he takes the disguise of a barber's daughter. It's the barber's daughter who makes flower garlands and cuts nails and gives massages. So Krishna came in this disguise, and so the Sakis brought Krishna to Radharani, and she said, what services can you do? He said, well, I can cut nails, I can decorate, I can massage feet, I can design, make designs on feet, I can do mehendi. So she said, okay, then paint my feet. So, he introduced herself as Shyamali. So he was writing his name, Sham, Sham, Sham. She said she felt something like how Krishna feels. She said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just painting, I'm just designing. And because I felt just like Krishna, because Krishna was right at her feet in his name, she realized this is the same Sham, and laughed, and so her mind was over. So the gopis and manjaris are always doing their services. So even when Krishna is there, not there, they're meeting, assisting or serving Radharani to meet Krishna through their katha. And so she's meeting him just by the hearing. And then he's also praying to her, when will I be able to assist you in, it's your time I think, when will I be able to assist you in, the sister, I forgot it, I totally lost it. Assist you in cooking, yes. When you go to cook for Krishna in the morning for breakfast, when will I be on your party to accompany you there? So first they assist her in cooking, in cutting, in preparing the wood, not at home, but at Nanda Bhavan, where Krishna lives. When will I be on your party to accompany you to cook for Krishna in the mornings? When will I help you cut up the vegetables, help you make the fire? And then when Radharani's cooking, she takes off all of her heavy garments and heavy jewelry, and she's just wearing a very fine, just one cloth. And even though she's full, in the midst of hundreds of fires called Vadajudananda chulis, the stoves. What are they called in India? Chunis, where they gave the name. So she's in the middle of all these Indian stoves,